She was hot. Okay, unmute us. That's great. Okay, well, we're unmuted.
All right.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We have 3 minutes of pre-show. Yay!
I want more pre-show.
Pre-show
Well-
should be like extended to like 15 minutes right now.
There's
Yeah,
really
there's only 2
wait,
minutes of
no.
pre-show, so
there.
No, wait. Tim has like a stupid long song. We can't even do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're
the show
not.
after us might get pissed.
There's a show after us.
But
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I was trying to watch the stream and I forgot that was in a browser without ad block.
Oh no.
and if you guys are wondering why we're starting late this pre-show, it's because Skype is being a butt right now, and that's the PG.
Yeah, well,
everyone
It
go
happens.
tweet at Skype and tell them their butts.
Yeah,
Actually, please do not, in fact, tweet at Skype at their butts.
yeah, don't tweet Skype.
Or
tweet it at Microsoft. They're the ones that own Skype.
Unless if you're fearless like most of us, just go tweet at Skype.
And
Wait,
anything
why
that
is-
Flightless says is not endorsed by Canterlot Hill, Elements of Harmony, or any of their affiliates.
correct.
Yes.
I thought I had ad block on my Firefox. Why is it playing on here?
Because Ustream says screw you.
I must have disabled
Ustream-
ad block for a site.
You know, I already notified Bash about getting Bash Stream ready, and he said he will work on it.
Wow.
I tried to talk with Bash about that at Cider Fest, and he
Same.
just didn't reply.
Don't bring up,
he
don't
replied
bring
to
up
me.
Cider
I
Fest. I'm
think he
really
was busy.
sad about that.
Well, that's your problem. You went to the wrong cider convention.
I didn't even go to any cider convention, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Thanks, Tim.
Oh god.
Uh,
Talk about a horrible blow.
Clearly, that was the wrong one to go to. The one that didn't exist.
Well, yeah.
Okay, you know what? You're right, Dice.
The one that didn't exist.
I never get tired of hearing that.
Wait,
Clearly,
Because I
clearly
never
I am
hear.
not participating in
Whoa.
tonight's show since my name isn't in the list of people in the intro.
I
Well, you better
didn't.
fix that really
Dang
quick.
it! I wrote that like.
where the heck? I had the dock opened and now it's gone.
Not to mention you put a big B in my Snowblitz's name.
And it's gone.
Well, Tim, you also had probably a bottle of alcohol, and now it's gone.
Yeah,
And
well.
it's gone.
There you
It's
go. I
It happens.
apologize.
That's what happens when you're the berry punch of the fandom.
I didn't choose the berry life. The berry life chose me.
Don't worry. Well, that actually kind of Korea took me over on that one. But Korea was an amazing place. Don't get me wrong.
I would
to go
love
back.
to go there because I heard that they love Americans and I like being around Asian girls that love America. What?
Stay south. No, stay south for that one.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Like go south. Don't go to Seoul. A lot of the younger ones don't like Americans. Go down to like Daegu and Waegwon. Yes,
Okay. Maybe they just don't like you.
maybe. I am a well. I don't know what I can get away with saying, but I am a terrible person.
Speaking of getting away
I
with
don't know, maybe they
things,
just don't like military people. Maybe that's the reason.
Well, actually, a lot of them really do until you go a little bit more north. I've gotten thanked for my service by so many people, and by one of my idols in the Street Fighter community.
Really?
Yes, one of the guys I look up to in playing Street Fighter, he went, "Thank you for defending my country," and I went,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, is this man that I'm looking up to thanking me?"
See,
That's
the
why
thing-
a lot of Koreans love Americans because, we helped them during the Korean War.
I may
a lot
be
of the
showing my
older ones.
age, but the thing that blows my mind the most about what you said was that you have an idol in the Street Fighter community. Shut up,
Well,
phone!
So I have time to grab another beer before we actually start the show.
yes,
Probably.
we can start when you get back.
Okay, because I need another beer for this.
Well, don't
Well,
worry,
we're
I need
starting
another
late. How about
shot.
we just end late? I mean,
I
Yeah.
mean, we can.
we can.
It's not. Well, we really got to reconsider for the people that's on after us.
Look, if Dusty could start late, we could start late too.
Now.
Hey. First of all,
Nobody's gonna question that mustache.
Yeah, nobody's gonna question that handlebar mustache and that bald head of his. Please
could
don't tell him I said that.
I could turn my camera on and
Quote
we
that,
could-
Dice. Quote it.
I am-
Quote it.
I am,
No,
Nope.
no.
Nope. I am using discretion.
What's that?
He's gonna murder me.
But, I mean, yeah, he's intimidating, but you really think he's gonna murder you?
No.
This is a teddy bear.
When I have a machete, he won't.
But he is an awesome teddy bear. I haven't even met him, and I know he's awesome.
yes,
I really do want to meet Dusty. I really want to meet him.
Dusty's aight.
he's like,
I remember Steel's story for that one.
Might do what?
When you met Dusty the first time.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Yeah. That was at the time.
I was
You are-
so.
You are really
drunk.
intimidating.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been talking with a couple of my friends about it for the whole con weekend, so, like, whenever I actually got the chance to talk to them, that was just the first thing I said was like, okay, I gotta be really honest here. You really intimidate me.
I remember my first time I met Dusty. I'm surprised with how drunk I was. It was BronyCon 2012. I'm drunk, cosplaying my first version of the Barry cosplay.
Not
And I'm just
surprising.
like, you're the manliest brony in the world. I think it's hilarious, that thing you do with the singing and the ponies on the microphone and Celestia and blah. And then he was just like, thanks. Like, obviously, just get away from me type of thing, but I'm going to be nice.
well, you would do the same too if you saw like some random drunk guy coming after you like that.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of those moments.
I honestly, I cannot
enjoy
wait
them,
for my
though.
first. I cannot wait for my first con. It's going to be Winnie City Pony Con, and apparently John Delancey's going to be there.
Yes, he
Oh,
is.
nice.
So I have to talk to him. And Snowblitz, please reconsider your tweet during that and come down to Chicago.
Wait, what tweet?
You know exactly what I'm talking. We talked about this. I'm not going to try and like say exact words, but reconsider.
If you want, I mean, I guess.
I already told you.
Look,
I
I'll
already
think
told you.
about it.
Thank you.
If
That's
you
all I
want-
really needed to hear.
If people want me to go, then I will reconsider in going. But for right
Why-
now,
I want you to go, and I'm trying to. Tim
Winnie
really
City's
should
gonna
go
be
too.
really awesome. My reasons for possibly not going have nothing to do with the con. In fact, I really want to work it because it's the same people that did Ponyville Cider Fest, and I'm
Do it, Philly.
working that con.
I
But
would just like to eat Chicago pizza for the first time.
it's just
You're
gonna.
right. You're
Spring
right.
is so rough for me with how many cons I have all around that time. Like, even if that weekend ends up open, that means I'm not gonna be home at all,
Well,
except for
okay.
work.
Literally, the three cons I'm planning for during 2016 are Winnie City Pony Con, BronyCon, and Cider Fest.
Okay.
So, if you're not working Winnie City, that means you get to walk around with me and a 5-gallon jug of cider.
Well, if I'm at Winnie City, I'll be working.
But there's nothing to say you can't walk around while you're off shift.
Fact. But you can't drink my cider.
Why?
Well,
All right, guys.
you know what?
You're
You bring
questioning.
you
Dude,
bring up
he
a good
drinks
point.
when he's working.
You
I
bring
should
up a good
know.
point, Tim.
I'm
And-
like the
and-
robots in Futurama. I can't work without a drink.
Hmm.
The only time
Tim-
I never see you
Tim
drink. is
Bending Rodriguez.
Yep.
And anywho, we should really get the show started.
Yes.
Yeah, I should probably
Probably.
start this thing.
Let me start
So-
the show.
Hi, this is Starlight.
Parchment scroll.
Snowblitz.
Flightless.
And steel cords.
And this is Elements of Harmony.
Let the rainbow remind you that forever, this will be our time.
Now you're pushing back into the start. Is there any way to fix some broken heart? Hold on, yeah. Octavia, won't you tell me why you are leaving?
Tonight on the show, it's finally December, and you know what that means. Snow will be falling. Not snowy bee, but actual snow. Hot cocoa and marshmallows, freeing by the fire. With all of that, there's really only one genre we can talk about tonight. That's right, it's metal. Few other music genres can make you feel as alive as those growling vocals. Join us as we celebrate the true spirit of this season tonight!
Yes. Yes. God, I love it.
Did I hit it? I'm kind of drunk again, finally.
No, that was pretty good. Could have used a teensy bit of throat to it, but it was good.
Well, I've got a rule where I don't like actually sing when I'm drunk, unless if it's just drunk messing around.
Gotcha.
Why not?
Well, that counts as drunk messing around, I think.
That's a terrible rule.
No, it's a great rule because alcohol like dries out the vocal cords and can really make your voice thin out and stuff. Like,
Also,
Okay,
it messes
I'm-
up your judgment, and so, you know, if other people are listening...
well, I don't mind the judgment.
Okay, one moment. I may end up stroking my ego at this point, but how did I sound when I got interviewed when you guys made me sing?
Awful.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's okay.
That makes me feel-
He says,
that actually
he says
makes
that
me
to
feel-
everyone.
That makes me feel a lot better, actually. Well, however I sounded, I was really drunk.
Okay, I have something to say here. Standing Leaf, if you knew just how much Snow went with metal, I mean, let's take a look at Immigrant Song.
No, let's even like okay. Every single black metal song ever, if it is true cult spelled with a V, it comes from the frozen Arctic North shores.
Scandinavia, if you will.
Yeah. Scandinavia.
Ja. Ja?
I mean,
Is that really the accent?
it definitely goes with metal.
It does
Yes.
go with metal.
It does.
I like
But-
Finnish metal.
Ooh, yeah.
Finnish metal is my favorite.
Which there is Finnish metal in this fandom, and I am glad to see that nobody picked any Finnish metal. Parchi, you should pick Finnish metal since I featured the song on a previous episode that you picked. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Did you?
Yes, because I was talking about how he did breakdowns right in that song. Because breakdowns should really only be 4 bars, or if you aren't doing if it's not truly halftime, just a halftime feel, 8 bars, and that's how he does it in that song.
Well, great. Well, in that case, while we're...
Find some Finnish brony metal since we're talking about how great it is.
Have fun with that.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it
gonna-
exists.
It exists? Really?
Yeah, Ponysphere.
Okay.
I mean, I've featured like 5 of his songs, but he's done more than that.
Well, great.
Yeah,
Thank you for
okay.
giving me
Well-
an artist name, because I was stumped. Hey, and immediately, the first thing it pulls up is one of the songs you featured.
If you're looking for a metal,
the thing is-
Starlight's the man.
Yeah. Well, with metal, I don't really listen to a lot of like Finnish.
Oh God, no,
or,
not that
you
one.
know,
It's
death-
7.5 minutes. No.
Yes, do it. Just go for it. I don't care.
Or like I don't listen to a lot of like the death metal or the Finnish metal or anything like that. I personally listen to what is referred to as screamo or post-hardcore.
Oh,
See,
I don't like-
I personally don't like screamo, so you know.
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
the band. It depends on the band because stuff like "Woe Is Me" or "Issues," it also has the R&B blend, so it has very good singing into it. Stuff like "We Came as Romans" and "Pierce the Veil," it has very good singing into it. It's the
Flightless?
point.
The
Yes.
only thing I like about anything you are saying is that you're actually using the term screamo properly.
It is.
That's the only thing I like about what you're saying, though. I don't like any of that.
I'm sure.
And most people don't consider it metal. But you know what? We'll get to that discussion when we feature your song.
Yep, exactly.
See, I
because my
like
song is
my
pretty
metal
much
to
that.
be melodic and you know, sort
What,
of prog metals.
Dream Theater, pretty much.
Ooh.
That's not like
Well,
a sarcastic
no.
thing. Like
I'm
Dream
just
Theater.
saying, like,
no.
I may have just lied because I really like German industrial, and that's
well,
not
you
always
lost.
melodic.
No, it's not, but it's fun.
It is fun.
It is
It is.
a lot of fun.
It has more melody than like other hard rock genres, though. Sometimes
Yeah.
German industrial.
But let's see, I'm trying to think.
Like I'm thinking of Rammstein songs, and like the things that stick out in my head are like his choruses and stuff. Whereas most
God, yes.
hard rock or post-hardcore stuff, you think about the riffs, not the melodies. So
Yeah, with Rammstein, it is definitely like the choruses and his singing and just pretty much the weight that he puts into his voice during it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
At
definitely
least
more
for me.
melody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you had mentioned one of my favorite bands, Dream Theater.
I figured that would be one of yours.
And one of their top influences is Rush. They used to sneak into clubs underage just so they could watch Rush live.
Oh,
Because Rush is amazing.
Rush is one of the best bands.
As a bass player, I completely and utterly love Rush because Geddy Lee is like the god of bass playing.
Oh my god, isn't he?
Yes.
And
That man plays like the most complex bass lines, sings, and then starts pedaling on a bass synth. I can't do it.
not many people can, but
Geddy Lee.
for
can.
those who can, their name is Geddy Lee.
Exactly.
And speaking of Rush and prog and all that is wonderful in life, this song that I'm featuring tonight, I was listening to earlier and like, wow, I hear a lot of Rush influence. So we are going to take a little song break, 12 minutes long. Sorry, guys. It is called Discord Tells It His Way by Draconicus. You are listening to Elements of Harmony here on Canterlot Hill.
Perfect time to go to the bathroom.
I hope.
Make sense? Oh, what fun is there in making sense?
Yeah. That's a song.
Yes. It really was.
Mm-hmm. Dude, we
Yes.
heard you. We were like, who let the
Yeah.
tickle the elbow in here?
Yeah.
But there were a few musical call-outs I felt in this song. Obviously, the very obvious one was
YYZ.
well, I was gonna say the Discord one because most bronies will get yeah.
At
And
the end, at the end of the opening, it is literally the same chords. Dun,
yeah, it's
dun,
the same
dun,
chord,
dun.
slightly different riff, but yeah. Well,
Definitely.
They are. They
one of the
really are.
things they said in this description is that it kind of goes through the different phases of Discord. And I think the purpose of that call out of YYZ is because, well, anyone that's flown through Toronto would know that's a very hectic airport to go through. And if you're with a airline like American, they stick you out in a sardine can as your waiting terminal. So
I haven't been to Toronto, but I feel like you're completely not wrong.
No.
yeah, it is the most hectic airport I've ever been in.
Exactly. If
I've
it's any-
been
if it's
through
anything-
O'Hare and Atlanta, so
Oh, yeah. If it's anything like SeaTac trying to go to Korea, yeah, okay, I understand.
You guys cannot hear me. I'm an idiot.
Oh, God.
Are we all muted?
No, just me.
oh, good job, Archie. That you were adding to the conversation, and everyone's just like, "Who are these people talking to?"
Why are they answering questions that aren't being asked?
It's like, why?
Who's the little voice in their head?
Telepathy.
Why are they trying to talk to Party? He's been gone for centuries now.
Hey, don't you judge the voices
Hey.
in my head, Steel.
He's only 50. That's half a century.
I am not 50. I will be 41 in, oh god, 30 days.
There it is.
Pointless, I'm not judging the voices in your head. The voices in my head are judging the voices in your head.
Oh, that's just professional. You
All right,
know.
let's go back to the topic.
Amazing band.
Yeah, amazing band. A lot of
Yeah.
influence of Rush I heard in there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I heard
They-
Dream Theater influence as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They even got the time signature right in the beginning, which is
Yeah, you were talking
amazing
about that
because-
before the show, that they got the 5/4 time signature right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
And-
me and Tim were talking about that like way earlier in the morning.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I just want to do a Cyril the Wolf song, one of his Steven Universe songs. Is that okay? Then I saw that these guys released this song a month ago, and I was like, oh. Because I've been waiting for them to do more original music. Like, the vast majority, in fact, almost all of their uploads has been covers, which is great because they put a lot of effort into their music videos. I talked about that in a previous episode that I featured of them, but...
Yeah,
I've always wanted to hear more of their original stuff because it's very rare that we get a full piece 5-person band.
yeah.
So
And I mean,
speaking of,
they do very well too.
mhm.
Whoever put their video together did a great job too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I said 5-person.
And
I wasn't actually counting. How many people are in that band?
I did not actually see a drummer, but then I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the video.
I saw
They
a
also
bass
have a
player.
female vocalist who obviously
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
featured in an instrumental, but
Yeah.
Very, very good on them though.
yeah.
I count 4 people in that video.
Okay, so there are at least 5 people, including the vocalist.
Right.
Like, if they have an actual drummer as opposed to a drum machine, then that would have been a 5th person, just not counting the vocalist. But I didn't see anyone on drums, so.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they can get those drum samples that well, kudos to them. Kudos.
I mean, there could be more. I mean, unless the keyboardist is the same as like the guitarist or the bass. No, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a keyboardist.
There's a keyboardist, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass, and
Drum. So
theoretically
there's
drum, but I did, like I said, I
maybe
didn't
five
see
or
a drummer.
maybe 5 or 6 because did they even show the drummer in the video?
I said
I don't
several
think so.
times that I did not see one, and nobody else has said that they did.
So it's probably a drum machine, which is fine.
Which is fine.
I mean,
it is
yeah.
fine. Like,
Oh.
They
are
did
certain,
really good.
There are certain genres you absolutely do not want a drum machine. There are some genres you can get away with a drum machine if you don't have a drummer. Like, God help you if you're going to try and do jazz with a drum machine. But
Hey, don't test me.
Yeah.
But metal, if they use a drum machine for metal, it is a lot of kudos on them to getting those samples very well, or they had a drummer actually record the samples. But either way, it's very good because since, you didn't see a drummer, they had to have used samples or some kind of drum machine, and that means somebody was beating away at those little drum machine pads or making
they
it very, very
had
well.
a drum track, and they just didn't have room in, because they were clearly filming that in one room.
True.
Yeah.
So
well,
they
there's actually a lot of like really good drum samples for metal, like Drum Kit from Hell, which is from the drummer of Meshuggah. He did the samplings for Drum Kit from Hell.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Devin Townsend actually uses that on his recorded albums.
I do
And
believe
then
we
there's-
talked about that like a year or two ago, but I couldn't remember what the name of the samples was.
Well, the one that we
So-
talked about, I forgot the name of that sample. That was Soilworks drummer.
Oh.
So there's actually a variety of metal drum samplings to pick from. So
Yeah. Now, we've got a whole lot of music and not a whole lot of time, and I don't really have a segue because I haven't listened to this track. I have
do
not.
it, man.
Yeah, just
So
do
this
it.
is that Finnish metal band that you were talking about, Ponysphere,
Yeah.
with "In My Own Shadow." You are listening to it on Elements of Harmony on Canterlot Hill.
what you get is something you don't need. Misery and pain, this new mark will only feel.
after another. She's so depressed. Trying to find a key. And the shadow appears. I can make it to go away, but there is a price you have to pay.
Raise your head, young one, and dry your tears. You are not alone in here with your oppressive fears. Only one you should ever dread. Inside your
Alright, that was Ponysphere Within My Own Shadow, and everybody else is still muted. Give me a second. Where is my mouse cursor? It's going to take a little longer in a second. And there we go.
Hello.
That was metal.
That was glorious. That was
So
It had a very, very Metallica feel to it, especially during the acoustic parts.
well, I kind of get where you're coming from. I disagree on Metallica feel, but
it reminded me of earlier Typo.
Metallica had those long interludes and slow build-ups. However, their slow build-ups usually only took like a minute and a half. This song took 6 minutes and 14 seconds with their slow build-up.
Yeah, and then that last minute and 20 was.
That payoff was great.
I wasn't talking more on the build-up, I was talking more on the sound of it.
Just kind of that down, bow, bow, bow. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
that big in your face, slow chord builds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly that.
really, most of that song really reminded me of the doom metal genre. Like,
Well, that's what
I'm a
they,
Candle
that's what they were
Mask,
setting
Black
out
Wizard.
for. They said, "Here's some doom metal based on the episode Gloom and Doom." So,
Yeah.
or Bloom and
Which-
Doom. Or,
I really liked it, but unlike most doom metal out there, Black Sabbath not included, they have this very heavy sludginess. In fact, sludge metal is a subgenre of doom, but that sludginess, I really don't like it. It's just overdriven, over-distorted guitars, and a lot of it, in my opinion, is there just to hide the fact that the musicians can't play in time, in tempo, properly. But
which
this
is
was
not
really
the case
tight.
with Ponysphere, so.
Yeah, this was very tight, very in time, and it didn't suffer at all for that. I mean, I think that playing out of time makes a song suffer. So I really liked that they did that with the song. It was just very clean and in rhythm.
And
It
basically,
was. It really was, and it got me to the point where I actually subscribed because I realized that I haven't heard of this artist before.
Oh,
So,
he's great, and he does
I
some
have noticed.
very, very fun collaborations with Secret Metal.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
all I know is I had to take my hair tie out so I could headbang properly, and that's good.
That is good.
Yes.
That is a good thing.
Now my hair has knots in it that I have to deal with.
I also
but
like,
that's fun.
like I said in
President.
when we were listening to it, I said that he sounds like an orc when he does the growling.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you kind of brought up that growl section because a lot of Finnish metal is rooted in the folk music there in Scandinavia. And when it got into that part, it was very, very folkish. It started to deviate from the doom metal that it was building up to it, and kind of actually reminded me a little bit of Opeth, which different band, but yeah. Different country and all
Opeth is. I can definitely see where you're kind of coming from on that one.
Yeah, just it's got that folkiness to it without being folk metal.
Yeah.
Death growls going. Yeah.
It's a nice blend of kind of all the Scandinavian stuff with and having some American feel to it too. It's a good blend of all types of metal, by what I heard anyway. I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dice is going to quote me on that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
He will.
He wouldn't have if you hadn't said anything, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, this was actually my first time listening to this song. I'm really glad that Parchi blind picked it because
the song
Most-
just came out 2 weeks ago, so.
You didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't
Okay.
really blind pick it. You kind of forced him to blind pick it.
You're
well,
like, you're
yeah.
like, get some Finnish metal. Ponysphere's Finnish. I'm like, okay, Ponysphere. I'm like, okay. The first song that came up was that Sweet Apple Acres cider or whatever. Like, I forget what it was called, but the one about how
Which
hard they sang.
I think
He
I
featured it
featured
twice.
that, yeah. Well, of course, because that's and drink lots of cider.
Yeah, and then there was one that was more recent. I was like, yes, this one. Oh wait, it's 7.5 minutes long. And you're like, go for it, because I hadn't looked yet to see that yours was 12 minutes long.
Oh, man.
So yeah, none of us had heard that yet. So that was our first time hearing it too, and I loved it.
It was really good.
Love it. Oh my god, so metal.
Matter.
Oh my
metal.
god.
Okay, this is the wrong song to be acting like a basic metalhead to,
Probably.
but
I think it's fair to say we're gonna run over tonight.
Yeah.
I was gonna say speaking of basic, but Flightless's pick isn't until the next song, so Snowy
Ow!
Bee.
Yeah. It's my
Ow!
turn. Wow.
I'm sorry, Flightless.
Shots
No, you're
fired.
not. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said
I like
it.
that artist. That's a burn.
Yeah, well,
All right. Well, fine. Let's go on to my song. This one is by L Train, and this is a cover that he did. He actually covered this song by CxDr, and the song is called "The Rescue." So this is "The Rescue" by L Train, originally by CxDr. You're listening to Elements of Harmony on Canterlot Hill.
Lying face down, drunk on the sidewalk, thinking of her. Is it love or all of this booze that's got me confused? I'm not sure. It's late and it's cold, and you just called to say hello, and I should be there for you. I could be your rescue. You need each other. Go to her, go to her. No time to wander. Go to her, go to her. How long you yearn for this, an end to all your loneliness. Now you've earned this sweet success. After all these years spent alone, I'm finally found. Feel my heart in straight time pound to the beat of this strange new sound. So drunk on you, the way you move your sunset tunes. Nothing's how we planned it. One more step towards me. We have to take this gambit. You're shaking body. You need each other. Go to her, go to her. Don't stop to wonder. Go to her, go to her. Every moment's led to this. Lost a glance and fumble kiss. That you deserve this happiness. Take you through the cold and snow to that place we've never known. I just need to let you know. her, go to her, go to her. No time to wonder. Go to her, go to her. How long you yearn for this, and to all your loneliness, you've earned this sweet success. You need each other. Don't stop to wonder. Every moment's led to this. Lost a glance and fumble kiss. That you deserve this happiness.
Yeah, well, if you look at the freaking cover art, it's pretty damn obvious.
I didn't think it was obvious. I thought it was nothing.
Okay,
And
did you guys?
listen here. This is what the continuing discussion of what happens when we are on song break.
Bring it back in 3, 2, and I unmute you guys to an argument, blowing my eardrum out.
This is my OTP.
So-
This is not going to be stopped. I
That
don't care what
was the
you guys
L
say.
Train with the Rescue, which is a cover by. I just want to call him Change Directory. It's Chirac's Destructor, but it's CxDr.
Oh, is that what that's short for?
Yeah, Chirac's Destructor, but I'm
It
going to call him
wasn't
Change
cross-drive?
Directory. It's not cross drive, it's not Change Directory, which actually change doesn't make sense for the X, but it's what's in my head right now. Don't correct me.
Too late.
You don't get to
For
pick
people that
your
are
own
wa-
abbreviations. That's not how it works.
Doesn't matter, it's close to
No,
CHDIR.
I'm talking about Chirac's Destructor. Like, no.
Oh,
You can't
yeah.
just pick random letters from your name and go, that's how you abbreviate it.
For people that are wondering, I picked a shipping song. I picked it without no knowledge that it was actually shipping.
What is
It's
like,
like-
you're
It's
saying
really
that like,
obvious.
Hey,
I'm
it's all
innocent.
okay.
I don't care.
Thunder, go to her, go to her. No time to wonder. Go to her, go to her. How long have you've yearned for this? An end to all your loneliness. Now you've earned this sweet success. Totally not shipping. Oh, that's
Hey,
OAT's logic.
Guys, it's okay because it's my OTP, so you can all go to hell.
Hey, I haven't disagreed with this OTP.
Yeah, no,
You're
sorry. I was
lefty
already
spread
on the
shipper.
highway to hell, so.
There you go.
you can't mention Highway to Hell in a show about metal where we can't play it.
Well, I just did.
That happened.
I pick one song and everyone's in like disarray.
Yeah, well. It's an L Train song, which he's pretty metal, and a cover of someone I haven't listened to yet, so.
L Train, I really do love L Train because his covers are amazing. His Sound Barrier cover is awesome. His Rainbow Rocks cover is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I still think my favorite one is The Legend of Zelda when he did that. but other than that, let's go back to this one. I actually like it. I love this song. It's very nice, simple.
It's catchy, it's simple, it's pretty basic.
Yeah, it wasn't like, ear bleeding metal or anything, but it was metal enough, and it was nicely melodic, and L Train is really good. So
Well, I don't really like that kind of metal, like that screaming death. And
well, that's
I
just
kinda-
it. Like,
You're gonna hate
Like-
my song.
I'm going to.
Look,
No,
I
I
like your
actually
song. I
did
like
not
that song.
pick anything by that artist because all of his lyrics were screaming. Oh, good lord! So
No,
Yeah.
I like half screaming and half vocals. That's what I like when it comes to.
Okay, then you might like my
oh no,
song.
I'm sorry.
Of course, I like your song
I was
because I
getting
like that artist.
confused with your song.
I don't
confused
like
with
your
Steele's
song.
song.
Of course you don't.
Of course, he doesn't because he hates a lot of
Yeah,
people.
well, I don't like his song because it's actually not metal, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about this one. We will
Yeah.
have a conversation.
Here
But
we
all in
go.
all,
Are we
I
gonna
did
have
not
the
mean-
Are we gonna have the true metal conversation, or is this really gonna be clearly not metal?
I don't know.
Well,
We're
let's find
gonna
out.
have that
Let's intro
conversation.
it.
Okay, well, if we're gonna intro it, then this is what my definition of metal is. It is Left Behind by PrinceWhateverer on Elements of Harmony, on the hill, by the mountaintop, over the hill, through the woods.
Didn't need the shipping. Look, I like him.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we're back, and that
Yeah.
was Left Behind by PrinceWhateverer, which apparently Tim doesn't think is metal, but I do.
I really
I want to
don't.
hear. Tim, here's your
I
shovel.
kinda-
Start digging. Let's hear this.
Wait, you want to hear who's first?
I want to hear your explanation of why that wasn't metal.
Okay, metal is to rock, as romantic is to classical. So what I'm saying there is the classical period, music was very transparent. There were a lot of things like simple scales and all that driving the melodies and the songs, whereas the romanticism, German romanticism, when it led the romantic era, it was very thick, very ornate, very technical and complex. And that's what separates those two, just like rock and metal. This song is very transparent. Yes, it has some very, hard driving guitars and all that, but the actual harmonic structure and all of that is very transparent. You can hear very clear space in the music. A lot of the, is just very simple, kind of like going through a scale.
Right, because
or
metal is
arpeggios.
never simple.
No. I mean, technically all music is simple when you get down to it, but I mean,
It depends on the genre, though.
it's just not very ornate like metal is. It's not
okay,
very
it's
thick.
not very ornate, but it was very, like... Honestly, the only thing keeping it from being, like, straight-up thrash was the vocals.
Honestly, well, as what usually that never rarely ever happens, I kind of agree with Tim that it's not really metal. I would consider it mostly like hard rock, with instrumental wise, but like vocal wise is alternative.
Yeah.
Which, as what Tim said when we were talking, it's alternative is basically a branch off of hard rock.
Billy Joel in the chat.
Billy Joel in the chat. What?
What?
Still rock and roll to me.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't me trying to say it's not good like a lot of metal elitists would do with things that aren't metal. It's just me saying it's not metal.
It's not a bad thing. Though,
Yeah, that's
it's
not
metal.
elitist at all. You've just laid down your personal definition of what metal is, and because this doesn't fit that definition, that's not elitist. That's just you being the gatekeeper.
I come from a musical background, and I mean, I said it very early on this show. A very important thing about genre is being able to talk intelligently about the music. If all music is just music, you can't have an intelligent discussion about it.
He has a point. He really does have a productive point.
So.
Well, okay. Now, Flightless, you have a rebuttal?
Okay, so when it comes to the musicality of it, for me anyway, it comes down to the sound of
And that's time. No, continue.
Oh my god.
Well played. Well played. Okay, so when it comes down to me, it comes down to the sound of it, which is very, distorted guitars. It comes down to a kind of a heavy riff to a point, and it comes down to not really like growly vocals, but very intense vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel on it. So when it comes to what people describe, and honestly I describe it as too, post-hardcore or screamo, when it comes down to it, it has the very distinct guitar sounds, it has the bass sounds, the very distinct drum sounds, it has the very distinct, just the instrumental sounds as a whole. And then the intense vocals and the very, I guess, when metal started out, like, say, Black Sabbath or anything like that, it wasn't really, like, angsty, but it was kind of, rebellious to a point.
It took the rebellious anger of rock and roll and amplified it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, that's how I feel anyway. And when I hear stuff like PrinceWhateverer or any of the mainstream artists I like, it kind of amplifies the anger or the rebelliousness to a point where I think, okay, that's very metal with a heavy instrumental to the background of it. And I think that's what metal is.
I think, Tim, I think you can agree that if it doesn't meet your qualifications for metal, it's at least metal inspired.
Well, okay. This is now getting into the discussion of fusion genre. It has the composition of rock. Hard rock, I should say. But it does incorporate a lot of the sound, as Flightless was explaining, of metal. All of that timbre and just the heavy distorted guitars and stuff, but compositionally, what really is behind the heart of metal just really isn't there, so I can't call it metal. But it definitely is a fusion genre, which, like new metal, metalcore, hardcore, all of those are fusion genres.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. That's why I wasn't like, oh, we're going to just scrap this song and not allow it, because...
No, it's an interesting discussion, and I'm glad we were able to have it. Like, you know,
I mean,
it sounds
fusion
like we know what we're
genre-
talking about for a change.
That's something that's been for decades. People haven't known how to really talk about fusion genre.
Yeah.
So,
Fusion genre is definitely an interesting thing because fusion genres go into every type of music. And honestly, I think the rock metal type thing is the most fusion genre one because there's so many different subgenres and different things that you can do within it.
yeah.
The difficulty there is that metal is a subcategory of rock, a subgenre of rock. And it's really hard to make a fusion with what's basically a step back.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. It's just you run into that problem of, is it far enough into this genre or is it still back in this one? Whereas with fusion of disparate types, you can easily tell what the influences are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I loved the song.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the guitar work.
I will say I went into this saying I don't like the song just because I typically find most of PrinceWhateverer's actual music overrated because I just typically don't like the stuff he does, but I actually found this song enjoyable. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like his stuff. I say he has like the best production
Oh,
skills. out of-
he definitely has the best production skills. His production is out of this world.
Yeah.
Said that
Yeah,
before, I'll continue saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel his production is amazing.
Definitely
And yeah, definitely. And honestly, I personally would love to work with him, but yeah, I'm way lesser known.
Yeah, well, then you shouldn't let that make you afraid to approach him.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Obvious.
consider that it's like a disability. Definitely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't let that limit you.
You guys are ruining my self-deprecating humor.
I didn't hear any humor. I just heard self-deprecating, and
Yeah,
we
I
ain't
just
standing
heard-
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's fair. Well,
Besides, that's my thing anyway.
That's like pity. Self-pity yourself.
shut up, Steel.
Actually, Steele, don't shut up. Let's
Yeah, let's
get this show on the road. And
Oh yeah, you're totally next.
Okay. So, yeah, this is one that's, it's a song that's MetalCorePony actually put out, I think, a couple months ago, if not only less than that.
I want to say 3.
I think it was
Yeah,
about 3
whatever.
months, yeah. I was looking at it earlier.
Yeah, but I actually had the chance to talk to him during Nightmare Nights. This
Oh,
past
God,
couple
no.
months.
Try 7 months ago. Okay, continue.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay, anyway, but yeah, I actually got the chance to talk to him about it once at Nightmare Nights. There was a panel, I think, on Sunday that he actually got to feature this specific song at. And it's got a bit of screamo kind of thing to the verses, but the chorus sort of has regular vocal kind of thing to it. So I don't really know how to classify genres because I'm really stupid in that area, but yeah, I think it's pretty good mashup in my opinion of stuff. I guess I should stop talking. Anyway, this is Show Them All by MetalCorePony. You're watching Elements of Harmony on Canterlot Hill.
I was patient and waited.
Welcome back.
So, speaking of fusion genre,
Yeah,
now that's metalcore, something I still don't consider metal, but
of course.
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
everybody's a critic.
before
Yeah.
pre-show, when I was over at the laundromat going through YouTube trying to find a song to feature, and I actually pulled up, I specifically looked for Metal Brony on YouTube, and I found, like, it reminded me of MetalCorePony. Like, YouTube was like, did you mean MetalCorePony? And I pulled up that song. I almost immediately dismissed it because of the vocals.
Mhm.
And then I listened to it for about 30 seconds and then dismissed it because of the vocals. Which means I dismissed it before I got to the chorus, which was lovely. And I wish I had heard the chorus. It was already in the list before I listened to it, though, so it was a wasted effort. But
No, see, okay. I do really like MetalCorePony. Like, his composition is very good. His instrumentals are amazing. Yeah, I mean, he could work some on his vocals, but that doesn't mean they're not good.
oh no, I'm not saying he needed to work on them. I just don't like screamo.
Oh no, that's my personal opinion. That was my personal opinion. I mean, a lot of people don't like, screamo or metalcore, post-hardcore, however you want to put it. I say it's screamo. But it's just, I mean, the instrumental that he has and the vocals that he's going for kind of don't mix very well, in my personal opinion.
I
but-
agree, 100%.
The vocals are not really, I don't know. I can't really say that. They're just, like, not really there.
They seem too low for what he's going for, or it's very off.
That's very
well,
sharp,
the
like,
thing
very
is,
sharp, too.
the vocals that he does would mix much more with diminished chords and all that, and he does a lot of augmented.
Sure.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying, and like, there's a lot of stuff that he does where it has some uplifting to it, like, what F sharp chords are very well known for, that uplifting feel. And it just seems like he's trying to take that down a notch with the vocals, but it just kind of clashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Going to what I was saying on another fusion genre, I don't really consider this metal. Going to that transparency discussion, the other song was transparent because of just you could hear the different placements of all the different instrumentation. And this song, it fills out the frequency range very thick, but all the instruments the transparency comes from, they're all playing the exact same rhythm. So that guitars, the bass, they're all doing the same thing there. So the frequency ranges are filled out, but still transparent because you can hear the spaces between each musical note.
Okay, now I understand what you mean by transparent.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't explain that beforehand, and I can see what you're talking about through, screamo, post-hardcore, whatever the crap you want to call it, and I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
By transparent, and I fully understand why you call it transparent now. Because the bass line doesn't go into anything else. It's the bass line and the melody going in the same exact progression.
Just straight up point count. Not even
Got
counterpoint, but just...
I mean, transparency, it's just what it means, whenever you're able to see through it. And
Well,
I know that's kind of vague when talking musical, but it's...
Very vague.
I know, but it is a musical term, so you can see through things between the space of notes or between the frequencies of the notes, where they're at in a range.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I understand now. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
There we go. So the more that you add layers for, like, within intervals, the less transparent it becomes. And the more that you have notes filling gaps between the spacing of the notes, the less transparent it is. So, you might have a melody that's da-da-da-da-da, but you might have a harmony going down, down underneath. So that fixes the transparent, that fills the gaps between note spacing.
But remember, kids, don't layer too much or you'll become me.
Right.
Thanks. But yeah, his, in my opinion, his vocals could use some work. It doesn't really mix with what he's trying to do, but in thanks, Dice. But when you're trying to layer, don't layer too much. It's very hard to get the layer right amount, I guess.
I don't really think that's the issue with his vocals in this. I think it's layered well.
I think I was just going for the kind of
Oh, you're
general
just saying a
theme.
general
Yeah.
statement. Yeah.
But with his vocals, I don't think it was going for. In my
I think he was
personal
trying to
opinion.
do a lot of contrasting in a way that just didn't really.
Yeah, but it didn't give a good contrast. Instead, it just didn't mesh.
Yeah.
Instead of contrasting, he was clashing.
Yeah.
There's the old man wisdom.
Hey, you guys, get off my lawn!
Get your dang metal and
You kids today! You calling
Well,
it
when I was a
metal?
boy. When I was a boy, a nickel used to cost a quarter.
Oh, I think we're
But
getting it.
I mean, in the vocals alone, he does have a very good growly vocal type thing, and he does have a very good singing voice. But with the instrumental that he had in that song, it kind of didn't mesh very well, like Parchi said.
That was my reason for dismissing it. Really, it was that the vocals did not fit with the instrumentation. So I mean, Tim said it better, but really, that's why I said as soon as I heard the vocals, I was like, yeah, no. But the reason wasn't just that I don't like screamo; it's that the vocals did not fit the instrumentation at all.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Well, I should probably actually explain what I was talking about between the augmented and diminished. There's different ways to build tension and dissonance in a song, and diminished is when you're taking that seventh and lowering it a half step.
One
That's
moment,
diminished.
Tim. Take notes, everybody who wants to do metal.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, this isn't necessarily metal. This is just talking about music in general. Diminished is basically just when you have that seventh lower. Then augmented is actually when you take a degree in the interval and raise it a half step instead of lowering a half step, often a fifth. So like a diminished triad, the fifth would be raised by a half step. So that's the difference there. So an augmented, it's almost kind of a more uplifting type of dissonance, whereas a diminished, it's more of a kind of depressing dissonance that's being created. And whenever you're doing screams, you're adding dissonance, and he kind of went for the depressing end against an augmented, and I just don't think it really comes out well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go into a private chat and let you discuss musical theory with me because I'm terrible at it.
Okay.
Okay, I
Before we
gotta
do
take
that,
down the tech talk sign now because we're getting close to the end of the show.
yeah, it's
By
about
which I
time to
mean
wrap
we're
it up.
like a half hour past it.
Look,
Some-
I
Not
already
a big
said
deal.
we're gonna
Yeah.
start late, we're gonna end late. So let's
There
do
it is.
There it is.
There it is. We kept our
It's not like
promise.
there's anyone after us anyway.
That's true, but
No.
we don't want to push that. So,
You know, it's not like I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Look, if other shows can break the rules, so can us. guys.
oh my goodness. Anyway, do want to let you guys know about upcoming events since this is the only way we're going to get this part done is if I just butt in and do it. This coming up this
Yeah.
Friday at 2 p.m.
Just do
Luna
it.
Beats and Elemental Sounds at 8 p.m. on Friday. On Saturday at 2 p.m. Lycandee's Beats and at 6 p.m. Mixology. All these times are in Eastern, and there's more at canterlothill.com/programs. Until next week, I guess, this has been Parchment Scroll.
Snowblitz.
Flightless.
Steel chords.
And Starlight. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Yeah.
Theoretically, we're out, but my mic thing is still peaking.
Buenos
We're still
noches.
recording. That's